So I want to talk about something very simple, water intake. This is often something that is uh, people overlook, they don't pay attention to. With all the supplements and all the things that I talk about, it's easy to just overlook the very simple things. Sleep, water intake, protein intake, proper nutrition. These things are really the foundational aspects to any type of health or any type of performance orientated goal. So, water is one of those fundamental things, specifically filtered water for specific reasons. You want to go with filtered water as much as you can. I recommend going with either an reverse osmosis system that you can get from Home Depot. I just simply use a Brita uh, water filter, which gets rid of majority of the fluoride and chloride. That's the number one reason why you want to get filtered water is to remove those uh, chemicals, those elements, because they will impact your microbiome. They will impact your metabolism. They will impact your thyroid. Chlorine, for instance, is very similar to iodine, which is a binding force for the thyroid hormone. So if you have chlorine toxification, you can often limit the effectiveness of your thyroid, which is going to slow your metabolism down and it's going to affect everything from performance to your weight loss to body fat. So that's a really important factor. Not only that, but we're looking at the microbiome and the health of the microbiome. Chlorine and fluoride will kill a lot of the good bacteria. So we want to create a good environment for our body for the bacteria, and water is just one essential way of doing that. Not only that, but we're looking at reducing risk of injury significantly. When you're dehydrated, you are going to increase your risk of injury. Performance will go down, and we're talking big percentage points. Like risk of injury can go up upwards of 60%. Performance can be degraded as much as 20-25%. So you got to look at water as being essential. If you go into a workout dehydrated, you're going to suffer in more ways than one. From a cognitive standpoint, your cognitive performance will be severely limited when you limit your water intake. So when you're dehydrated, cognitive performance goes down. Take this into account with kids and their performance in school. Dehydration can account for lack of cognitive performance and the ability to retain information. So I make it an effort, make it a habit, I should say, for myself, is to get anywhere from 24 to 32 ounces of water in daily. First thing in the morning before I have coffee or anything else. So I'll have filtered water and just take a big glass and chug it down. Make it work for you, whether it's 16 ounces, 20 ounces, 24, doesn't matter. Get a lot of water in uh, just to increase your hydration status, and it's going to improve your cognitive function in the morning. All right, so water is ultimately going to help suppress your appetite as well. So in a case where you start to feel hungry, you got to really ask yourself, is it actually hunger or is it a state of dehydration? Because that will affect your appetite as well. So if you're in a state where you need to limit your intake, you're trying to reduce body fat, water intake is going to be play a huge part in that role. Another thing that you got to pay attention to is it's a way of excretion. So I say this a lot. You're not what you eat, you're what you absorb and what you hold on to. And I'm referring to detoxification in regards to what you hold on to. So if you cannot excrete the waste and the toxins in your body that are held on to by body fat that we ingest and we involve ourselves in every day, then you're going to severely limit your potential for performance and results. So water, especially filtered water, is going to play a big part in the filtration as well as excretion of toxins. And it's also a vehicle to extract fat. So if you're burning fat as a fuel, i.e. body fat, and you don't have a source to get rid of it in the same rate that you're burning it, then you have a possibility where you're actually going to limit or plateau your results, or your results can plateau. So you want to make sure water is a foundational tool and resource, not only for health, but cognitive and physical performance, your ability to extract toxins, and your ability to get rid of excess fat. So water is a very, very powerful tool. In regards to techniques and tools that I use to make sure that I get enough water in per day, I should first start off and say how much water should you actually have. The general rule of thumb, and now this varies between environment, how much you sweat, who you are as a person, and what you feel you need. But the general rule of thumb for water intake is to take 60% of your weight in pounds, and that's how many ounces you should have. So if you're 100 pounds, you should get 60 ounces a day of water at minimum. Now, when you work out, when you fly, there's a lot of processes that will dehydrate us naturally. You want to make sure that you're drinking excess water to account for those conditions. When it's summer out, it's very humid, and you're sweating a lot, you're going to need more water. So take those factors into account, but the bare minimum should be 60% of your body weight in ounces. Now, what I do is I just carry a big container with me. This is a half-gallon Yeti container, and I try to go through at least 2 of these a day, taking into account, body weight and all those things considered, exercise, and how much you sweat personally. These are things that you need to take into account for. And I make it a goal that I try to get all my water intake the first 3/4 of the day, because what you don't want to do is have a bathroom problem at night and have to get up in the middle of the night, break your sleep, interrupt your sleep, and then have to go to the bathroom because you drank too much water at night. So make it a goal to take your water, break it up into either halves or quarters throughout the day, and try to get all the water intake in the first 3/4 of the day. And as I said, getting a container, a metal container or a glass container, to hold your water, and then you can easily calculate how much water you actually need throughout the day, and you can just use this as a visual marker to say, if I fill this up 2 times and I go through all the water within a day, that's a win for me in terms of hydration. So use that as a tool, whether you have a 16, 24, or 32 ounce container. Just divide it up and figure out how much you need based on the equation I gave you. Again, that's 60% of your body weight in ounces per day. And you can certainly go above and beyond that, but just make sure that you're getting your mineral intake as well. So magnesium, potassium, and sodium, and you're getting adequate mineral intake in addition to your hydration, because you're not only excreting water and waste and toxins and all sorts of other things, you're excreting minerals as well throughout the process. So you want to make sure you replenish those minerals as well. So I would avoid distilled water. I would go with just regular filtered water is completely fine. You can certainly go with like mineral enriched water as well. But just be consciously aware of those things. Water intake is absolutely essential when it comes to the foundational tools for your health and fitness. Hope this helps. Thank you for watching.